Hey, I had watched SouthernSweetJoy this morning, her video, and it was about angels. And she had asked for us to give our story in the comments below. Well, I've got two stories that pertains to angels in my life, and I'm afraid that there's just too much there for me to have left in her comment. So this is for those out there who needs a little bit of encouragement, knowing that you've got angels watching over you, and for Joy, who had requested us to give our comment, our story. Here's my comment for Joy. So, and back when I lived in Kentucky, there was one time I had gone out with my sister-in-law, and we ended up with a flat. So I pull into a gas station, and I'm attempting to jack up the car and change out the tire. And I just look up, I guess I was kind of taking a break because I hadn't really gotten very far with the car. I didn't have the jack under the frame. I had it underneath the fiberglass body. So anyway, I was kind of taking a break, and I looked, and it was a busy gas station, so it wasn't unusual for people to be pulling in and out, getting gas, going in, getting themselves whatever, And this particular person pulls up, gets out, and asks, "Need your tire changed?" "Yeah." "Well, let me help." "Well, thanks." So he gets the tire out of my trunk, finishes jacking up the car, removes the flat tire, puts on the temporary tire, tightens up the lug nuts, lets the jack down, puts the jack back into my trunk. Now this person looked like they might have been a Marine or a soldier or something, because they had a very nice Army crew cut, very clean shaved. Almost put me in mind of my brother, who is an ex-Marine. And I thanked him. He got back into his car and drove right back away. Me and my sister-in-law thought that was strange. He didn't go into the store. He didn't stop and get gas. He just pulled up, asked to help change my tire, and left. I guarantee you that was my angel, disguised as a human being. I guarantee it. And then there was another time. My daughter was staying with her aunt in another county, and she had a job. And it happened that it was on New Year's Eve and the weekend where she had her days off. And I was getting ready to go get her. Now, we had a standard car, manual shift, and the way that the driveway was set up, it just leaned a little bit, We lived in a one-lane road, and there was a creek right beside our driveway. And so the way it was that if you went too far, you would back up into the creek. We had to scotch the car, put something underneath the rear to keep it from rolling. And when I went to start the car, I had forgot to remove the scotch. So I got the car started, and I thought, I forgot to unscotch it. So, stupid me, not, because the way it was, the car something was wrong with the choke or something. And so a lot of times it wouldn't start just by the key. We would have to get out and spray the choke with gum out in order for it to start. And so I didn't want to shut the car off and have to get underneath the hood again, right? Not to mention it would be a lot better to be in the car. Anyway, I'm wearing heeled boots, okay? They were like 2.5-inch heeled boots. And I go to unscotch the car, and the car starts to roll. Now, my second daughter, who at the time was about around 10 years old or so, more like 9. She was around 9. Anyway, she was going with me to go get her sister. And so she's sitting in the passenger side. And I know before Jens even commented it should have been in the back seat. You're right, she should have been. But that was then, okay? So, and just, that was the night of idiocy, okay? Anyway, so I am trying to get this car to stop. So I'm doing this little trick that any other person can do no problem. You know, you see it in the movies. A car is rolling, they hop in like hero of the day, stop and runaway horse, you know. Get in and stop it. Well, I'm trying to hop into the car while it's rolling backwards, because my thought is it's going to go into that creek. And my daughter's in that car. I've got to stop it from rolling into that creek. I didn't get the right footing. The car knocked me down and rolled on top of my leg and stopped. The car was sitting on my calf. Now that was a very heavy car. Sometimes me and hubby had to push it to get it to roll. Hubby being my ex-husband now. But we would have to push that car to get it to start. And it was so heavy that me and him could hardly push it fast enough for him to kickstart it. I mean, we had to really push hard. That car was that heavy. So here's this heavy car sitting on my leg. It's cold out that night. And I'm laying there on the ground, screaming at the top of my lungs for my daughter to go get her dad. Finally, in time, my daughter gets out and runs into the house and gets her dad. He comes out and says, "What happened?" And I explained to him I forgot to unscotch the car. I tried to get in to stop it and it ran me over. So he carefully drives it back over my foot. It hurt when he drove it over my foot, but he got it off. And I had screamed, and he said, "I'm trying not to spin the rails on you." So he managed to drive the car off, and then he helped me into the car and drove me to the hospital. I had no broken bones. Not in my foot, not in my leg. No broken bones. Just deep bruising and inflammation. And that's it. Needless to say, I didn't get to go get my daughter. Hubby had told his brother to get hold of their sister and tell her that she'd have to keep our daughter because currently I was laid up where I just got ran over. The message wasn't even relayed properly there, but that's a completely different story right there. So anyway, I asked my daughter, I said, "You heard me screaming?" "No." See, the car was loud too. The muffler system on it was just a little messed up. It was still quiet enough that we didn't get in trouble for it, but it was loud enough that you couldn't hear above it. She said, "I didn't hear you yelling, Mom." I said, "Well, what made you go get your dad?" She said, "The angel told me to." My daughter at that time, at that age, had premonition dreams and could see angels. When she was a toddler, she would just break out giggling, and I just knew that she was having fun with her angel. So she was perceptive to this stuff. And she explained to me, "Mom, there was 2 angels. One in the driver's seat and the other outside watching over you." She said the one in the driver's seat was making sure that the car backed up in the right direction so that it would stop at the embankment. And the one outside was helping to guide the car and was watching over you. 2 angels, and my daughter saw them. And she said the one in the driver's seat told her to go get her dad. No one could ever tell me that angels don't exist. I saw one personally, and my daughter saw 2. And I just know that if those angels hadn't been there, that car possibly would have broke my leg, maybe even ran on over my hip, and it would have gone into the creek and possibly hurt my daughter. I know that the angels was there guiding that car and taking care of me. And it was through Jesus Christ that I didn't have a broken bone. The only thing that was wrong was when I would get out of the car, my muscle would draw, and I had to use a cane for a few weeks until my muscle recovered from that, from the inflammation and the bruising. Other than that, and I can wear high heels now. No problem. No problem. So yeah, angels do exist. And they've been in my life. And I'm thankful that God the Father has sent them down to take care of us. So there you have it, Joy. There's my angel story. Love you guys.